See what happens. See when we screw everybody up when we're like nice and early. Like people are still like, "What's going on?" But Liban Youssef, he's always there. He's always there.
Liban.
He's Liban. He's there for the Patreon specials, for our specials. He's always probably the first guy. He's competing with Facebook Prank, who puts the first comments. But are we ready, Stevie P?
Always ready.
All right. Hold on to your hats, folks.
You are listening to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Radio Rossonera and Milan fans all over the world.
Rafael Leao produces a moment of utter magic.
Que sí, ¡es de gol! ¡Es de gol!
Teo Hernandez al volo! Teo Hernandez! Ancora lui! Una meraviglia! Ibrahimovic! Zlatan Ibrahimovic! Fuori classe assoluto!
Cari amici sportivi, welcome to yet another episode of Milan Weekly Podcast, episode 216 to be specific. Here we talk everything Milan, from a "you're welcome Fiorentina Milan" and to a "if this game was a lady she'd be a handsome woman" Milan, because you know how bad that one was. And when we're not professional,
Nor do we pretend to be.
week off. Welcome back, everybody. Everybody's getting back in. You guys thought we were going to be late again at 9:15, 9:10. We swindled every single one of you. And Stevie P, yesterday was Survivor Series. Milan was trying to survive that game. It all comes into play, and we have lots to talk about. Only one thing this week. But first of all, how was your week off? Well, almost a week and a half off. You had a lovely weekend with the wife. Relaxing times.
Very relaxing.
That's good to hear, but not relaxing on Saturday. But before we get into the game, guys, just like every single year, we've been doing it, Stevie P and I, Milan Club Montreal, Milan Weekly Podcast. It is time for the Toying Food Drive. It is happening this year on December 19th. If you guys take a look at our channel, you'll see like videos of Stevie and I helping out in the trucks, canned goods, toy, food, clothing, everything. Will be December 19th. Poster will be up soon. We will try to get the Milan Club to come with us, help out, and then we're all gonna go and watch the game because it is Milan Napoli on that day. But it is an all-day event, so games at 2:45. But excited about another. This is I think this is the 11th edition or 12th edition to CVP. So hopefully it doesn't snow and it's a nice weather like last year. And glad to be helping out once again.
Yes. Weather is an important part, and it's time to give back to the less fortunate. Milan Weekly Podcast, Milan Club Montreal. We always love to try to give back when we can, and this is a great cause by Dave and the crew from Southside. I've been doing it for 10 plus years, and they're doing it once again. So Milan Weekly Podcast, we are on board. We're working on some things. We don't know. There might be a little announcement. We're gonna see. I owe people an episode in the Jello, that's for sure. But we'll give you more next week.
Definitely, we just wanted to put it out there. We do have a bit less than a month, but we shall see what we can do, Stevie P and I. And that's the only housekeeping stuff we have, Stevie P. And let's get straight into it because we've been off for about 10 days. Steve, Saturday's game, 2:45, gathered up at the bar. I wanted to ask you before we get into the game, what were your first thoughts of Kessie as captain? Did you read in, like, for you, was it okay, big deal, or a lot of people were like, no problem with that, right? It's like, I don't see, Kessie's been there the longest. To me, it made sense. I don't know about giving it to Ibra at that time or Kajar, but people, did you find that people were reading into this a lot more, like, maybe looking at the selection with their hearts, like, oh, Kessie, you shouldn't be captain, and all stuff.
Over exaggerating. That's the "what have you done for me now" culture that we're in right now. You guys have to remember whatever's happening outside of the pitch is probably his agent doing whatever he needs to do to get him the most amount of money. We went again through this with Donnarumma. We're going again through this with Kessie. Unfortunately, the game has turned into a business. Please stop. Please stop with this. What have you done for me lately? This guy has stayed with Milan through the darkest of darkest times. And as someone who's probably with the most experience on that pitch besides Ibra, the captaincy went to him, and I had no problem with that. Looking in that, it's just for just swimming and grabbing for excuses, and I don't want to do that.
And Steve, Bizak was there. We're paying attention to him doing a lot of covering. A lot of up and down. I find he had a great game, and covering for Gabi. Obviously, that didn't work out, but. Steve, a lot of questions. We've been getting a lot of comments. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? And you know what? Looking at the starting lineup, I didn't have a problem with the starting lineup. I don't think we could have done any differently from this one here. What the fuck happened? Like it's just. It seemed like in the past, Steve, we would have these kind of games where we would play like shit, right? And this game here, I didn't find we played like shit. I think we played, pretty good and attacking these shots, and the gods of soccer, the gods of culture, right? They take their one opportunity. Napapera from Tatarusanu. Take me through your feelings of the game. Even though you were away from home, you're able to watch it. I don't know. I didn't want to be that guy that like just trashed Milan. And in the end, I'm like, guys, we're still tied for first. It's our first loss of the season. I think people were jumping way too much to conclusion, but it is social media, right, Steve? But how about you?
No, look, you can read into it many ways. It was bound to happen, a game like this, and after an international break, usually the first game back is very sloppy. Add to that they're probably thinking a little bit ahead to what's going to happen in Champions League and who's going to play and what direction they're going to want to take. Are they going to try to field the team to win? Are they just are they going to rotate? What are we going to do, right? So there's a lot of things coming into play. Justfully so, what people are looking at, but a team like Fiorentina lost against Venezia and now against Milan, they put out a performance like that. You have to take it back to their coach. Their coach, if you remember last year, the first half of this game reminded me so much of the Spezia game. So much where, they just outran us, outchanced us, and we paid for our mistakes. And again, in this game, after the first half, we paid for our mistakes. We didn't capitalize, and they did. And, when you get down 2-0 in Serie A, it's very rare for you to come back. Then going down 3-0, it's almost like, whoa, now what am I watching here? This is something that's going to get out of hand.
And then to give us that glimmer of hope, right? I know that the changes were made. I'm not saying Messias brought a lot to the table. I know we're going to get into that, but the changes were made. Ibra stayed on. I felt Ibra, honestly, gave us the best of opportunities. Then you have, Theo doing a great run, passing it to Ibra for the second goal, and then he goes through that fucking blunder. And it just seems like, did you think we had the chance, Steve, at 3-2?
I think them coming back and making it 3-2. There's always that little chance that they're gonna come back, and we've done it before, so I didn't see why not. The problem with this game here is, again, we made too many mistakes, and those mistakes Fiorentina capitalized on each and every one of those mistakes.
Yeah,
and there was more mistakes made, and once it becomes 4-2, then it gets a bit demoralizing for the team. But the positives that I can take out of this is that they didn't give up. At 3-0, they could have easily mailed it in, and they said, you know what, it's gonna be 3-0. We don't wanna know anything about this game. It's not our day. Let's move on. They didn't. They made it 3-2. They made it uncomfortable for Fiorentina,
which is a positive to take away from this game.
I think it was Alessandro Jacoponi who tweeted, this is a Fiorentina win, but also it's an Italiano win over Pioli. At 3-2, he could have went defensive. He could have, he could have tried to park the bus against Milan, but he decided to go offense. He decided to make some positive substitutions, and it ended up working out for them, right? So, look, when I came into this episode, I could have went really, really negative. There was a lot of bad, more bad than good. But I think if you look at the other results, it was probably a good weekend to have a bad outing.
Thank you to Inter, and we're going to get into it after. But before we get into those games, Steve, I know we like to do for Milan post tops and flops, but out of the flops, do we have a group of people? Can we even pick out one? And Gabbia got trashed online, and I get it, but I think it was, was it a bit harsh for Gabbia to be thrown under the bus that way? I know the kid's still 20 years old. Theo, Jesus fucking Christ, Theo. And it's, what's the most frustrating part about Theo, Steve, is that we've seen these kind of, you keeping the ball for too long. Why are you keeping the ball? Why are you trying to do everything by yourself? And okay, yeah, but his assist to Ibra should not, erase the fact that goal, I'm not saying would have won this game, but you can't be making mistakes like that, right, Steve?
No, you can't. And again, we as Milan fans want to see Theo as the best left back in the world. Unfortunately, we can't, guys. And again, we had the stupid red card that made him miss the derby. Again, he takes another card. So his accumulation of cards, we're going to see him miss another game because he just keeps on taking stupid yellow cards. Defensively, he's a liability. And, with errors like that, you cannot be considered the best left back in the world. So now Milan Twitter and Milan fans need to take a step back and say, what is he giving us? Is he giving us more good than bad? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the bad comes at a really bad time, right? And this here is a Serie A match where, as a Milan fan, you wanted to take advantage of Fiorentina and looking at their past results and say, you know what? Napoli has a tough game against Inter. So can we put the pressure on them? And unfortunately, Milan wasn't able to do that. And collectively, as a group, they're a flop. But if I have to pick one, the 20-year-old Gabbia who doesn't play too much, yeah, it would be an easy scapegoat. But the Theo Hernandez that plays game in and game out and is counted on by everybody else, for me, Theo Hernandez is the flop of the match.
So you're going to go with the flop, even though his mistake did really loses the game? Well, yeah, because we could have still, there was still time. But so for you, Theo was the flop. I got to go with Tiramisu on this one. And, he pulled through for us. And, yes, Magic Mike supposedly is coming back on Saturday, keeping those fingers crossed. But I think the game was kind of determined once he had La Papera from that corner kick. And it just seemed like, okay, this is going to be one of those games there. Seemed out of position on one of the goals. And I appreciate what he's done for the team as a backup goalie, especially against Inter. But for me, the flop has to go. Like you said, Gabbia would have been the easy scapegoat. Messias is just a substitution on it. But I got to go with Tiramisu. Yeah, he literally dropped the ball. Thank you, Fujis and Fanyan. How about top, Steve? For me, I was really thinking about Kessie because I really paid attention to his game on this one here, but I'm going to have to go with Ibra, not giving up, playing the whole 90 minutes, giving us hope for us a chance. I was, even Sausage Maker, he should have been even part of the flop of candidates there. But Steve, I'm going to go with Ibra for a tops. How about you?
For me, it's Frank Kessie. I think he did way more than what we've seen in the past. Unfortunately, it wasn't a defeat, but so much off the ball and keeping at least some respectability in Milan's midfield. I don't think Tonali was bad either. Again, it's just individual mistakes that were made that cost us a lot of goals. Milan doesn't let 4 goals in very often.
No.
So we really had a terrible game. There's, you want to get into, there was no tactics in this game. It was continuously, it was up and down, chance, and who was going to,
It was like the
who was
EPL,
going
Steve.
to capitalize. Sorry?
It was like the EPL, back and forth.
Yeah, it was back and forth. No, it was an entertaining game. It wasn't, there's one team that's going to come out the loser. Unfortunately, this time it was Milan. And again, you have to credit Fiorentina, who took advantage of every single mistake that Milan made. And, at one point they were up 4-2, and I'm not going to say they deserved it, but in the end they did, because
they capitalized.
Right? So you can go through a fine-tooth comb and say, oh, this pass and this pass and this pass. But sometimes games like this, you have to take a step back and you have to say, you know what? You're going to get a bad performance like this. And I saw it in the chat, and we're going to talk about it when we do it the rest of the Serie A. In the end, Inter wins this week. Inter wins. They grab points on Milan. They grab points on Napoli, and Juventus as well. Juventus slowly eating up some points. Roma won and Juve won, but the real winner this week is Inter.
Even with 2 teams, Steve, a top Serie A with only 1 loss all season, we're still looking, and it's great. It's great, the competition. It's 4 points. It's still like two results, but this is game 13, right? There's so much excitement, and we're going to get into the other results. Steve, I saw a tweet, and I wanted to ask you about this for Wednesday's game. Somebody had just like, this is the lineup I would start, and he put all like the bench guys, for concentrating on the Serie A. I wasn't really for it. For me, it's like, if there is a slight chance, well, I'm going to give myself the best of chances to try to make that. What would you do on Wednesday against Atletico?
I don't really know. It's really a gamble. I think you have no choice against Atletico because you're hoping for a result in the other match. I think you have to try to play the best lineup you have. Now people are going to say, you're crazy, we need to concentrate on the Serie A, and I know that, guys. We're not deep enough, right? We saw against Fiorentina, we have some injuries, and we have a lot of injuries, right? It's not every day you lose 2 of the possible 4 center backs that you would like to play.
So even
it doesn't happen all the time.
Thank you for Fuji's mentioning, a lot of offside goals and necessary offside goals on those ones. But you're saying let's go, if it's 5% chance.
I waited this long to get them back in the Champions League. I don't want them to lay an egg. I want them to go, and I want them to play, and I want them to make life difficult for Atletico. Whatever the results after this game, you might be mathematically out. We'll worry about the Liverpool game after. But if you're still in and you still have a chance, and you waited this long for the Champions League, there's a financial benefit. There's also the winter transfer market to try to address these issues that we have in terms of depth. So let's go. But again, the injury slide that you saw from Sonny is still jam-packed, guys. And Mike Magnan on Saturday, I don't want to...
Somebody was saying it seems like a bit rushed, but it's the guy that actually, what I was reading, we should get, Steve, we should get a segment with Derek. Derek is a physiotherapist. He knows all these. He knows more than just Il Polpaccio. We should get him on. We should get him on, and he could explain these kind of things. Derek, if you're listening, we're that serious. Even fellow Patreon members will have like an injury corner with Derek.
Yes.
And he'll tell us all that stuff. Steve, before we get into the other results of Serie A, I wanted to touch base a little bit on Macias. I know he's got shit on, not the greatest of performance. What is the difference between people shitting on him after 30 minutes of playing to us shitting on Bakayoko for 70 games straight, and all of a sudden he became good? Is there still hope for a guy like Macias, or is it the fact that I can't believe we paid 2.6 million for this loan? Have we seen enough of Macias to actually judge? Or is it because we're so bad at right wing that we're hoping for a light at the end of the tunnel? And is that the reason? Why do you think he's getting so much hate with so little that we've seen?
So Bakayoko was brought in at the time to add some muscle to the midfield, but it's different. We have Kessie there. We had Benacer, grooming Benacer. The problem with Macias is that everybody who plays that right wing is under a microscope. And guys, let's be honest. Macias was not their first choice. So he's come, let's say, choice CD, maybe?
Probably. Yeah.
A and B were other choices, right? So already you're coming in as, you're a depth move. You want to see what you could do. You played in Serie A. You should have some experience. But you're not performing. You can't. Then you get injured and you miss more time. Now you're back, and every time you hit the pitch, it just doesn't look. You look lost. This is not Crotone, guys. And yes, we have to give him some time, but unfortunately, we don't have that time. We know for years now. For years, we're begging for a right winger. Ever since Suso left, we've been begging for a right winger.
And we shot on Suso.
And we shot on Suso. That we weren't happy with that right wing. So we can go further in the past. So imagine the pressure that's on this guy. I just don't think that he has enough. Bakayoko, there's a reason why he went to Chelsea. He had a fantastic mini career, if you call it, at Monaco, and then he was the big money move to Chelsea. Big money move to Chelsea doesn't pan out, but there's a reason why Chelsea wanted him. So he comes here. Yes, he didn't play the best, but then ended up finding his feet. Macias doesn't have that same pedigree. There was no mini career at Monaco. This was like he has a great story. But I don't think that story lives up to what people are looking for as a right wing. So I saw, in the chat, putting Rebic at right wing. Even though, okay, I get it. I know he's injured. But I was not disliking that either. We talked about it last year.
At this point,
we talked about it last year. Like right now, Leao is doing very well at left wing. I wouldn't touch Leao at left wing.
No.
But you want to find a spot for Rebic? Yeah, why not? At least try him at right wing. Yeah, again, out until past January, so we're not going to try that experiment. But Salchicha Maker is not working. Macias is not working. Brian Diaz didn't work on right wing.
Where's Samu when we need him?
Samu's not going to work either. So we need a right wing. I don't know if it's January, but again, this falls into almost that same. It feels like Groundhog Day again. Last year, we needed someone at right wing, and we needed someone to replace Ibra. This year, they addressed Giroud, who can't score, unfortunately, on the road, but at least at home he can score.
You don't want
to
to
replace Ibra, but now right wing is still a problem.
Imagine we imagine we go on to winning all the games before Christmas, and then it's like, okay, we're okay. At this point, Steve, you mentioned right wing. We mentioned years in Suso. Is it time to go just 4-4-2? Because that's what they did at the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, with Giroud and Ibra, right? Is it just time to change?
They have to be able to buy into the 4-4-2. It's very easy for us to just change players, but
yeah, no, it's just at this point, I'm just afraid that it's going to be like last year. Remember where it's, oh, look at this nice run of games we have. We're good the way we are, and it's after Christmas, right? Because we were winter champion.
Now it's impossible. We're good the way we are. It's the Maldini, Massara. Let's give them a little bit of credit. I know that these are their signings, but no one here can tell me that they are comfortable the way we are. It's impossible, and especially if they're in the run. They cannot make the same mistake as last year. And, the Singer family, Elliott Fund, whoever owns us, has to understand that at this point, there's not there's a window.
Hmm.
And you guys already heard me get really angry at the Lazios, the Romas, for failing to take their window of opportunity. Last year and this year was Milan's opportunity. So you're gonna have to spend a bit, and you're gonna have to address these positions where you're having trouble.
Steve, it's time for Serie A. Obviously, Liban is telling us President is on the chat because he's very proud that he made this edit of Villa. Here you go, President. Okay. Steve, do you want to talk about Salernitana and Sampdoria? See, they have a win, Steve. They got to win. Sampdoria from El Retiro. Ferrero's probably all happy, but no, I did not watch this game here. I don't know if you want to touch base or anything.
The only thing that I can say is Ribéry is hurt, and I have him in my Fantacalcio, and I lost another striker.
Sassuolo Cagliari 2-2. This game here, Cagliari just. When was the last time they won, Steve? Did they even win a game of the season?
Cagliari's in trouble. They should not be where they are. We talked about it the last time we went on vacation. We come back from vacation after international break. Again, playing a very tough, and I love to call them, they're the ball busters of Sassuolo. They're just always putting up a fight. 2-2, the draw. I think it was a fair match. I was watching a little bit. Hey, Mancini. Berardi scored on a penalty shot. Just letting everybody know, Berardi takes spot kicks.
Why do you mention that, Steve? Is it because some people can't score penalty shots, or So, anyways, we'll leave it to drama for Italy. We'll talk about that back in March, not back, but in future March. Stevie P, there was definitely a lot of these during the Atalanta Spezia game. Finally, Atalanta scoring 5 goals against Spezia. This is an Atalanta that we haven't seen in a while. But again, this was a must-win for Atalanta. It's like, you're playing Spezia. Spezia is still scoring 2 goals, but I don't know if you watched this one.
Spezia took the other league. Nzola, who I also have in my Fantacalcio with a doppietta, but he was sitting on the bench. So 5-2, 4-3, 14 goals from 2 games, guys. That's a lot of goals in Serie A. It's not something that you were very used to seeing, but the true, original Squilla di Tromba, my God, it would have been like just heaven with these games. Bring, 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 bring. It wouldn't have stopped.
You got it. But this one is for the other big match, right? Rigore per la Juve. Adesso andiamo diretto in Roma. Ci sta il rigore per la Juventus con il VAR. You know what? People could talk about the rigore per la Juve, but Lazio did nothing to try to. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to hear about the rigore per la Juve. The first one was dubious. Second one was a pure penalty with the handball. And I still love the way. How is it that your arm is out this way, Koulibaly, and you guys are still arguing? No, but because it hit the mic chip. No. Steve, in the end, Lazio did fuck all. No, I watched the game. It's like, Jesus.
Lazio was terrible. You cannot. Again, this is the frustration that I have with teams like Lazio and Roma. And especially Lazio playing against, having Sarri as the coach. Sarri coming back to going to Lazio and getting a chance to play against his former team at Juventus, who, in my opinion, let go of him way too fast and kind of screwed up that project for Juve, wherever he was directing his future Juve plans. I think there was just way too fast to get rid of Sarri. And Lazio showed up and did absolutely nothing. Zero. Yeah, absolutely nothing. And it was terrible.
And can somebody tell me what was happening before the game? Because I was doing the Patreon special with the guys, and I saw Immobile. I don't know what was going on. They were celebrating Immobile. Did it hit a milestone? Sorry, I might have missed.
Is the top goal scorer of Lazio and other which is nice, but Lazio need to move on from this enigma that the club is just Ciro Immobile, and if Ciro Immobile is not there, they can't do anything. That's on Lotito. That's on Tarre. It's quite some time now that he needs help. They need a substitute striker, someone else. There's problems with Luis Alberto, which apparently can't play at the same time as SMS, which I really don't know how Sadi can fix that. But again, this is Lazio shitting the bed, just completely not even challenging a very weak Juve. The weakest Juve we've seen in quite a bit of time did not even challenge.
And Bonucci can take a penalty, Steve.
He scored 2.
But definitely Lazio lost this game. They just didn't show up. I know because our graphic artist, he's from Australia. He sleeps at times over there. Torino won a game today, Steve. Torino won 2-1 against Udinese. Verona won 2-1 against Empoli. But let us talk about and what an exciting game, Steve. It was an exciting game. Inter 3, Napoli 2. Napoli going up in the game, back and forth. Inter 3-1. Cialanoglu scores only on penalties, it seems, Steve. But I think watching back, and what a horrible moment. Did you see Osimhen getting that head-to-head? And it looks like he's getting operated. I was reading.
2 months out.
2 months out?
They were going to lose him for a month anyways, but they just lost him for the whole month of December.
But did you pay attention to, I don't know what he's fractured or that's some scary shit, because it was really, when you saw the replay, head on head. So, but Napoli, to me, didn't do, Mertens came on, it was okay, but in the end, Inter was more compact and deservingly winning this game.
3-2 does not do this game justice. I think Inter dominated Napoli. Unfortunately, Handanovic, did have again one of his moments where Inter dominates the game and the other team creates half a chance and they end up scoring. But Inter were far, far superior than Napoli. Napoli showed what Napoli is in this game, and unfortunately, they don't have the depth as well. They might think they have the depth, but they don't. And again, now losing Osimhen and having, Lorenzo Insigne have a very superior subpar international break.
And missing a hell of a fucking opportunity in that game too.
Exactly, and that translating into a very poor game against Inter. Besides the assist, again, I know because he's in my Fantacalcio. One of the very, very, very few points that I've been making this year did come, and he also cost me because he misses penalties too. But I think we need to give credit where credit is due. Inter did win this week, not only against Napoli, and I think they also won because they're in the title contention right now. They're the 2 Milanese clubs are going for the Scudetto, and that's why I think our administration, our leaders need to say, where do we stack up against Inter right now? Because they're still the champions.
And on paper, they're
what
better
do we
than us.
exactly? And what do we have to do to be better than them?
Exactly. No, I like that. And even though they're 4 points behind in third place, guys, they're still contenders and they're still the champions. Bologna, we like to call Lazio Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Steve, but Bologna seems to trying to take that nickname over. They have games that they just keep on fighting, and now they go lose to Venezia. And these are these little clubs, Steve, that take away these points from these teams. But I watched a little bit of it, and it just seems, I don't know, like Bologna, you can't figure them out. Bologna.
No, the only thing I know about Bologna is that Joey Saputo was at the Bologna game instead of at the Canadian Championship game on Sunday.
Oh my God!
Just throwing it out there, guys.
There's some conspiracy going on over there. Yeah, so Venezia taking that one, and the last game yesterday, Roma beating Genoa. It was a great. It was a first outing for Shevchenko, but not an easy game, especially against Roma that needed a win. I don't know if you caught this one here, Steve. I didn't catch much of it other than extended highlights.
Yeah. After the first half, it was a little bit of a sleeper, but the second half, credit to Jose Mourinho. Everybody says he's he's one of those guys who trusts in his players, and he trusted the young kid, and he also made a bet with the young kid, and he said, if you score, I'm going to buy you those shoes that you want. And he not only scored one, he scored twice. So this is a great story. You guys have to look him up. I'm going to butcher his name, Felix. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, I don't think his name is going to be remembered for that reason, because it was a great gesture from Mourinho, but obviously we all know what happened. We're going to get into it. I just wanted to take a look very quickly, Steve, at the tables. But Roma not even Roma in fifth place, right? So at the 22 points, Atalanta 28. Sorry, Roma 22, Atalanta 25, Inter 28, Milan Napoli at 32, and Juventus guys are there at 21. It's still 11 points from first place, but we all knew that Juventus wasn't going to go anywhere. But Steve, 13 games in, would you have thought at week 1 that this was going to be the way the Serie A would be placed at this point, with three teams with only one loss?
No, I'm surprised that there's 3 teams only with one loss. But this is Serie A now. Every week is very competitive. Every week is that there seems like every week one of the top 7 teams has a game like Milan had this week, and ours came this week. I hear a lot of things. The Milan stuff is over. There's no more bounces going their way. Yes, but whether you like it or not, in the Scudetto run, there is some form of luck. There is some form of a good bounce going your way. Getting a result when others don't get a result. The bounces didn't go our way to get the result that we wanted against Fiorentina, to take a 3-point lead on them, but the results for the rest of the week kind of went our way, where Napoli didn't take a lead on us, and right now it's Napoli that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But fast approaching is the Inter train, and that's what we have to worry about. Now, it's not that I'm discrediting what Napoli. I think the Osimhen injury is going to set them back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The African Nations Cup for Milan will set us back a bit, with a couple of people being gone for the whole month of January. And I don't think Inter gets really affected by the African Nation Cup. So let's see what happens in January. Let's see, what we're willing to bring back in terms of the loans that we have out. Can we bring them back? What do we need in terms of a right wing? Because we need a right wing. If you guys want to play this again on repeat, we need a right wing. I've been saying it for 2+ years.
Presidente could get us maybe a video conference call with Masada, just in case they didn't know, Steve, that they need a right wing.
Just continuously play me saying we need a right wing.
Let's get it over with now. You mentioned the Roma drama, and I know Presidente, he had mentioned that was his indigestion of the week. It is definitely my indigestion of the week, other than Milan as a whole there. But as they're doing the video to present, I'm gonna give my, unless it was a live, which I don't think it was a live, I'm gonna give my brioche to the guy filming and actually posting after hearing that, as he's opening up the bag, Mourinho speaking in English, the kid speaking English, and you could hear somebody Italian say, "Was there bananas in that bag?" He came out and said, "I did not take offense. It wasn't racist at all." What do you want him to say? I'm fighting with one of my teammates or anything like that? I just find it pretty appalling, unless it was a live, which I seriously doubt it was a live. But you're recording that, you could clearly hear. And once again, we go back to these racist comments, and he can say whatever he wants. Kudos to him to come out and say, "Look, it's fine. It's not racist at all. It was just a joke." But just pretty sad to see a video like that making the rounds today. You, Steve, no?
I think we're becoming too much of a very delicate snowflake society.
So why use bananas?
Why not?
Why would he say bananas, Steve?
But why not?
Because you're black. The word banana is used.
So if he's white, it's okay to use bananas.
But Steve, in Italy,
It's like you guys have to understand. Like, I get the frustration, but you have to take things into a little bit of context here.
100%. If we're North America, I could get you. But first of all, bananas is used all over Europe to mock black people, right? Because they're monkeys. So, of all things, in a bag that looks more expensive than my fucking car, why would you say bananas? Che ci stanno I banane dentro quello sacco?
He could have said any other fruit. So let's say if he says onions, am I supposed to take it bad?
No, because banana is a derogatory connotation to black people, especially in soccer.
Look, I think it's
To each their own, but
it's teammates. It's together. I'm guaranteeing you guys that in the locker room, there's 100% more insults like that than you will ever hear.
Steve, 100%. But do you remember that picture of was it Kessie and Suso or Castileo in the dressing room with their phones, right? And they were watching their phones, and it could have been anything, and everybody jumped to go, oh my God, they're watching videos before the game. What I'm trying to say is that on this one here, whether it be na battuta, right? Which even me at work, we always make fun of. They make fun of me of Italian, the French guy, the Latino guy. But now you're gonna
be the same thing
because you're broadcasting to the fucking world.
Yeah, but they're posting it. For them, it's just normal conversation because that's what happens in the locker room, guys. When it's when it's someone from the outside of your circle saying that, I get the racist connotation because they don't know that person. But when it's someone from your circle, he said it. He comes out and he says this was not racist to me. This should stop. It's over with. It's done.
My whole point is the posting of the video. That's my indigestion.
Yeah, but for them it was nothing. Then why do we have to make it more than it is? Because we as a society are made and built now to just complain about everything.
So let me ask you.
I don't like your scarves in the back, Vinny. Please, the Milan is hurting my eyes. The red and the black reminds me of a very bad time in my land.
Let me ask you something. Me and you are having, let's say, I don't know, we're making fun of each other racistly. Let's say we're making fun of French people, right? Between me and you, right? We know it's joking. We're calling them this and that. And we decide to put this video on the internet. Now, are we not to expect people that do not know us put us through a fucking shit camp because we're being
Obviously,
racist? But that's my whole point, Steve. That's my whole point.
Okay, but it's okay. But then when there's context given to it, it has to stop. If I'm saying that French person or this guy is my cousin, then it stops. And my cousin says, I'm not taking it bad. Thank you, guys. I get it. But you don't know what happens in the locker room. If they put a camera and a microscope and a microphone in the locker room, guys, you will
it'd be worse.
100 times worse. So
but
then
Steve, you're agreeing with me. It's behind closed doors.
Yeah, but
this was broadcast to the world.
But unfortunately, life is like that, guys. This is what it is. The internet is forever. They chose to post it. They got the grief. It's over now. He said it. It did not bother him. So let's move on. People call me fat on the comments. They call me fat. I laugh at it. Yeah, you're frozen.
I'm not. Are you?
No, you're frozen. Anyways, whatever it is. So,
how about, do you have indigestion? You have one for later.
No, my indigestion is again this. It's like people are blowing things out of proportion. Right away. It was a crime. It was a heinous thing. But take it into context first.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. But that's why
no one's going to agree with me. No one's going to agree with me. People are going to say that I'm not. You understand? This is what it is. They're not going to agree with me because I'm saying what they don't want to say.
No, I do have a couple of guys. Saying like, let someone make it too PC. I get it. I think just find the
you know
word.
What? But you know what? I see people saying bananas. I see people saying apples. I see people saying carrots. You know what? The monkeys eat apples and carrots too.
They don't eat carrots, Steve. There's no carrots in the jungle.
Do they eat apples?
There's no apples in the jungle either.
When you go to the zoo, they give them apples.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna double
It's not even the point. It's not even the point here, guys. The point is we've become so snowflakey, but
No, this is not a snowflake. No, this is
we
not
want to
snowflakey,
choose.
Steve.
We want to choose. Now this year, we want to choose when it's okay to be a snowflake and when it's okay not to be a snowflake.
No.
You see, President is saying I'm being ridiculous. You see, because he wants this enraged him. For me, this did not do anything for me.
But we're having a discussion about it. We're not screaming. I'm telling my point of view.
Why am I being ridiculous? I'm being ridiculous. The person who got called this said it didn't bother him. So why should it bother me?
Or maybe he's just putting out the fire.
But whatever it is, he said it now. The internet's forever. It didn't bother him.
Yeah.
So why should it be bothering me?
All right. Let's move on. Podcast question, Patreon. Gio, always faithfully keep up the great work, guys. I'm just disappointed in the way we lost with all these bonehead mistakes. I'm especially angry with Tio's mistake. Do you think the management will spend in January to improve the squad? We touched a little bit based on it, and I think, Steve, I don't think they'll make maybe the same mistake as last year where, we went through that good run of games, and who did we get last January? Nobody, right? I don't think we got anybody. Mandzukic, yeah. No, that was a good one, but more yes than no, Steve?
I think they need to learn from their mistakes from last winter. It sucks. I hate the winter transfer window just because it's very hard to integrate a player at the beginning of the year. This should have been done at the beginning of the year.
Very true. David says, good evening, gentlemen. One simple question to ask you. What the fuck happened? Did Milan just lay an egg, or is it just a sign that we can't really relay on Tiramisu? Or is this a sign that Milan have some big issues to fix aka Tiramisu, Tio, and stupid ways of defending and also rotation? So, David, I think it's mostly of, should we jump to conclusions? This is a sign of like, okay, the foundation is crumbling, we're going down, or is it just like, look, we had a blunder, let's get back on our feet? I'm gonna go with a blunder because, like you said, Steve, we didn't give up, right? We didn't give up even at 3-0. But for you, is it the sign of things to come, or is it like let's take it this way?
If I look back again, it better not be, and it wasn't. If you asked me this question after the first half, I said, "Oh my God, I hope this is not the same thing that we did when we played against Spezia and we laid an egg against them and played the worst game that I've seen in a long time for Milan." But I'm happy that they showed good intentions in terms of coming back, not giving up, and at least putting up a fight. Was it the best of performances? Absolutely not. But if there's any positive that they could take out of it, it's, hey, it's time to get your act straight and let's go.
And Kim saying, ciao, Jen. Sorry, I've missed some group therapy sessions. I was fast asleep and had work that morning, but still here keeping an eye out for y'all. Do you think there is any good quality right wing out there to sign? Because I feel like at the moment there really isn't anyone that is impressing me in that position. How about just looking at Serie A, Steve? I know we spoke about guys like Berardi or anything. Who do you see maybe as I don't want to say quick fix because we don't need a quick fix. We need somebody that could. Can you think of anybody that will come on the cheap as a right wing? I don't think Berardi would cost us less than 20, right?
No, Berardi is going to come at a high price in January. I don't think that's gonna happen. We have the kid from Bordeaux who apparently can play a little bit of right wing, and was watching a little bit of games before the international break and saw him play against PSG, and he looked pretty good. Can he play right wing? There's Favre from
Renato Sanchez too in the news today. I don't know,
but those are not right wings.
No.
Renato Sanchez to replace Kessie to make everybody else happy. It depends what they want to do. Does Elliott want to splash cash? There's tons of right wings, but we don't need someone on the cheap. We went to that option. Macias is not the answer. We need someone to please fix this right wing problem.
Per l'amore di Dio. G wants to know, have you seen the classic football shirts Baggio Christmas sweater?
No. Yes, send me the link.
Send it, or just post it on Patreon. Send it to us on message, but in the Milan Club chat. And let me see here on Twitter. Do we have anything on Twitter? Ask Vinny and Steve. I'm sure that Steve was not a sunny graphic on Twitter. This is one of the. Is this Microsoft Paint by Presidente doing these graphics?
Good enough for us.
Forza Domi saying, until Rebic recovers from his hamstring injury, who would you like to see rotating with Leao for left wing? Do we even have anybody to rotate for left wing?
You're gonna see the usual suspects. You're gonna see some kind of rotation. Krunic.
Hey, Krunic is like Borini, right? The jack of all trades. He does his job.
They put him everywhere, but again, when you're rotating on the left with Leao, and you're getting Leao's pace and Leao's danger for what you're gonna get, the defensive responsibility from Krunic and some. It's not his natural position, right? So these guys, we have to take things for what they are and say, hey, guys, this guy's not playing his position, right? And it's been like this for years for Krunic. We try to put him into these places to fill gaps, and he has a Verona game where he grabs us 3 points, right, and scores on a free kick. It's gonna be tough, guys. We're gonna need to see. I've seen Salchicha Maker play sometimes on the left there when he decides to take a little walk from the right hand side and for some reason drift in the middle. I don't know where he got where he started playing FIFA 2022, and he decides that he's not a right winger and he plays in the middle. But we don't have too much on the left hand side. I'd like them to give some chances to someone maybe like Daniele Maldini. A lot of people say that he plays the trequartista in replacement for Brahim Diaz. I seriously doubt that. That for me is not where I see him. But maybe cutting the field in half for someone like Daniele Maldini to see what he can do. But again, I saw him on the right-hand side of Sonny's graphics, so he's probably injured too. So.
Same question. Pioli recognized Fiorentina's high press made Ibra offsides the whole first half. 4-4-2 changed the play into launching the ball into the box for Ibra and Giroud. Is Ibra's mobility too limited to fit into the 4-2-3-1, especially for 90 minutes? Does 4-4-2 expose center mids from Forza Domi? I think the change in formation, Steve, was just like a counter to Fiorentina. Yes, it came out better, but I don't think his mobility is limited because it's not like he scored every single game, but I can't really complain about Ibra's performances so far, especially for a 4-year-old. How are you?
No, but I agree. I think his mobility is limited. You see that he's
yeah.
He even came out today and said, after every game he has pains. He wakes up and he has pains, and coming to the field and this Milan makes him feel young again. This is not the Ibra that we had in 2011. It is nowhere close. This is not the Ibra at PSG. After the knee injury at Manchester United, he slowed down.
But Ibra for his mobility for that specific formation, I don't think I would specifically say it for that formation.
We need that one striker to create space. He does it differently. He gets away with a lot because he scores these goals that you see him score over the weekend where, he capitalizes on one of Fiorentina's mistakes, puts it right behind the net. He will punish you. He's an in-the-box kind of guy. He will score those half chances, like on the assist from Hernandez, that other strikers that we've had in the past will not score. Piatek would have put that in the fourth row. Carlos Bacca would have missed 9 times out of 10. So again, he gets away with a lot, and he covers a lot with the goals that he does score. But I think you see a difference when Giroud is on. He's getting to the end of crosses that Ibra will probably get to, but a little bit more difficult. I think that comment is just. I think his mobility has gone down, and we're starting to see it, especially with smart teams. And I call Fiorentina a smart team because I respect what the Italiano tries to do. And again, he's right. It does make a big difference.
Stevie P, I don't know if anybody can see it. The Roberto Baggio Merry Christmas. Yeah, Steve, you need that.
Yeah,
You need to go to your Christmas gatherings and the family with. Thank you, Adriano Pezzo di Pane.
Yeah.
And last question to Gigi Lapatat saying, knowing the situation of Kessie, what do you think is the best course of action Milan should do in January? Do you sell?
We have no pull in this anymore.
So okay, so let me ask you, because of what happened to Donnarumma and Çalhanoğlu, if we decide to make him play for the next 6 months and let him leave for free, is it going to hurt as much because we've gone through it, or because who are you going to get to replace a guy like Kessie? You know, Kessie's a professional. He's not going to shit the bed for until May. I don't think he's going to shit the bed.
And so was Donnarumma. Played up until the final game, and I think Kessie will do the same thing. This is exactly the problem that Europe has, because there's so many rumors and teams are allowed to talk to the agents of players that are under contract, because the contract in theory for Europe means absolutely jack shit. What the contract means in Europe is that when you transfer him from team A to team B, he's getting that salary that you have him in there. We have no pull right now. We had no pull with Donnarumma as well. I know people try to hold on to this thing where, oh, he's gonna stay, he's gonna not stay. And again, for him right now, that move to PSG is not in his favor. It's not going his way. And that's him. He's going to have to live with that.
Yeah.
But for us as Milan fans, for the red and black, same thing with Kessie. Right now, his agent is doing all the talking, and he wants this and he wants that. And it's no secret that he's going to leave, because Milan will not give him $9 million a year. So any team, and it's Jamie who said that, he's 100% right. No one's buying Kessie in January for any type of money unless they really want Kessie in January.
Yeah.
When they
and
can get him
and it's not a PSG that's going to need absolutely Kessie to come in on January.
And
right?
again, you're going to, we said it before, and Jamie brings up a good point. You're going to miss him all the month of January. So
and you can't play him in the Champions League. And you can't play him in the Champions League.
And you cannot play him in the Champions League. So no one's buying Kessie. So guys, get used to it. It's going to be on every podcast. It's going to be 150,000 questions. Kessie is leaving. He will not resign. If he resigns, I will be completely shocked. The options are limitless to how we can try to replace him. But again, for me, it's going to hurt just because he's been with us. Same like Donnarumma, through very dark times. And now when things are turning the corner for Milan, they're leaving for me as a fan, the wrong reason, which is money.
For greener pastures, Steve.
Yeah, but for them, in terms of career, I can get it. No one's going to say no to $9 million when someone's giving you $3.5.
True, but if your team that you love is giving you $6.5, and the other team across the street is giving you $9, where you're happy there, well, that you consider. But from $3 to $9, yeah, that's not even a discussion, right? Even though you might not play, you got to take care of your family, like you said. Players don't play until they're 40, other than freaks like Ibra. So we shall see. But if he goes, he goes, and we'll take him until the month of May, because we'll definitely need a guy like Kessie. Especially, you guys, if you pay attention to his last game, take a look at Kessie, the way he really covered back and forth when he needed to attack. So we can't let that quality of player unless we sell him, right? So we shall see. Steve, I gave my indigestion. Do you have an indigestion? Oh, no, you did give your indigestion as well. Let's finish off with our brioshkis of the week. Anything that made you feel good? Any brioshkis this week?
Honestly, not really, because Milan laid a shit egg and ruined my whole weekend. For me, guys, I don't really have a brioche feel good moment. The international break was not kind. I talked about it with Adriano Pezzadepan and the rest of the guys on their show. I let out some of my frustration there, so that was a little bit of a brioche. I'll give my brioche to them.
Oh, there we go. And you know what? I'll give my brioche to Pioli, Steve, because he doesn't bullshit when he talks after the games and comments. What a nice a change. And Steve, can you give us if this was Montella as Milan, what would he have said after this game?
Abbiamo giocato bene, abbiamo fatto benissimo in zona offensiva, ma la prossima volta facciamo meglio. The same thing. It was always the same thing.
Abbiamo pagato per gli errori, ma le ragazze hanno fatto bene, and love it. Steve, Wednesday's game, probably be watching from, because it's Black Friday week, so I got to stick at work for like 12 hours a day. We got Wednesday's game, Saturday, 9 a.m. Guys, 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Actually, if it wasn't boxing week, Black Friday week, maybe I would have gone to the bar for coffee, but this Saturday I will not be there. We got Sassuolo on Saturday. We will see each other. Actually, you know what, Steve? I do have a brioche. An even better one to Sonny for not making a single mistake on all the art this week. I think Presidente put him pressure. I think he had to sit down. He had to sit down with the Presidente and make sure,
Well, Sonny went missing for 48 hours. We couldn't get in contact with him. We thought he was either he left and he didn't want to be part of Milan Weekly Podcast anymore.
He took the beer money. He took the beer money and he just ran. But he just bought himself some beer. So.
Yeah, let me give them a proper brioche because I think they deserve it, guys. Great content with the Calcio guys, Adriano, Gianni, and Nick. Let me on their show the past week, guys, to talk about Azzurri and get some unneeded, unwanted stress off my chest. So they let me swear, they let me talk. I talk too much, obviously. So that's check them out, guys. Great content, the Calcio guys.
Sorry, my bad. We're playing Sunday. Thank you, Dino. We're playing Sunday at 9 a.m., not Saturday. We got a few video weeks. So I will be. No, I'm not waking up Sunday morning to go there. Maybe if anybody, maybe Bizak, because he always likes to have le café entre amis. And but yeah, the Calcio guys definitely owe some good content. They've been there, over 100 episodes, even them, right? So
yeah.
It's spreading the Calcio love. The Milan love, Serie A love. We got to keep on doing it because remember, Steve, we are the most boring league in the world, right? So we're the retirement league where all the grandpas go and play. So we got to keep on the love going, spreading.
Yeah. One sign off note there. I know we're a little bit late there. Everybody's gonna go crazy. Just something I need to get off my chest. The biggest of biggest indigestions for me. And I spoke about it with Adriano and the guys with this whole Violi Nation. Guys,
okay. You know what, Steve? You have to explain this to me because I was confused. Please explain to anybody that saw this.
The best way, I cannot explain it. The best way, guys, is to check Nima and John Solano on their podcast because it has some very very touchy avenues that they go into for this. So I'm not going to talk about John and Nima's story. That's for their podcast. That's a great episode if you're a Patreon. Guys, go check them out. It's fantastic. It's a great story. It's not a great story. It's a good explanation of what happened, but it's just this was something that really, really had my doubts in terms of like what content people are putting out there and how much attention they're getting for the wrong reasons. Long story short, to check out check out Nima and John Solano. They'll tell you the story. But for me, and like I told Adriano, my indigestion goes to all these people who jumped on this spaces with this guy and were listening to the content that he was putting up. And I'm not saying it in terms of jealousy. I'm just saying it in terms of like what guys like Adriano do, what guys like Nima, John, and they do on their podcast, what guys like David Amonal does on his, IFTV do at theirs. The hard work and dedication that these guys put into their craft and what they do, and cannot get a sliver of attention from anybody in Europe or Serie A or huge sponsors, and the sponsors know who they are. Everybody saw them come in and out. But for this gentleman and what he did, where I attended too because I needed to know. I just didn't understand the backstory. But everybody jumping on, not understanding the backstory to this content, for me was something that honestly my jaw dropped. I was honestly depressed because there's nothing Milan Weekly podcast could do that would ever get a sliver of this attention that this guy got for things that are out of this world, funny, very funny, hilarious actually. But the backstory, Milan Weekly podcast will play something, a clip from Serie A, we're gonna get torn down.
Yeah.
We're gonna get blocked. This guy here goes mental and crazy with his songs and his things that are, again, I am not gonna say they're not funny. They're funny, but the backstory behind it makes it very, very sad and very, very creepy.
So if anybody wants to take a look, Steve, say what do they gotta look? Viola Nation?
Yeah, you have to just look the hashtag Viola Nation. You'll get the history on that. If you listen to John and Nima with their podcast, again, I will tweet out the link again. It's a scary story. It's not funny. It's not a funny story once you hear it from the people that have gone through it, and once you put everything into perspective, you just gotta say to yourself, "Wow, how did this guy get so much attention for all the wrong reasons?"
Violi Nation or Viola Nation, Adriano?
Violi
Nation. Sorry, my bad.
The gentleman's last name is Violi.
È calabrese allora. And yes, Gio forgot to mention a tutti i nostri amici americani, happy Turkey Day this coming Thursday. If it was what's his name? Wow.
Joe Biden? Trump?
No, I was gonna make. My God, I just asked you to imitate him. If it was Vincenzo, what's his last name? The coach. My God, I even drink beer.
Vincenzo Montella.
Montella, and if it was Montella, wow, Vince, Jesus Christ. If it was Montella saying, allora per tutti voi, le ragazze, avete fatto bene, avete mangiato bene, speriamo che facciate una bella digestione, anche non fate troppo errore, ma avete fatto bene. So guys, eat as much as you can. Gio, please don't go to Walmart at 6 o'clock in the morning from those videos we see in the United States. I believe Larry too is a Americano. To all our American friends over there, mangiate and bevite, unless it's tacchino, and stay away from those
Happy Turkey
stores.
Day. Happy Thanksgiving.
And on that, gentlemen, we shall see each other next Monday, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!
Ciao, guys.
Vincerai, non ti lasceremo.